On today's episode, we are going to take a closer look at AMD and your favorite semiconductor company, which is Intel. I know how much you love that company. All jokes aside, we're also going to take a closer look at the overall PC market. We did see an update recently of how PC shipment is actually expected to slow down. If you've been watching this channel, you know this is not new news, but it is good to see an update to see where things are at the moment. So if this is your first time here, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, check out the pinned comment for a lot of great links, and also check out my tech channel. So let's get started.
I do want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and make sure to check out fool.com/Jose to get the top 10 stocks to buy right now.
All right, so first let's start off with the overall market. And on June 30th of 2022, so yesterday, Gartner released their kind of forecast for the PC market, and things aren't looking too good. Here we can see they believe the PC market is expected to decrease 9.5% year over year. The tablet market is expected to decrease 9%, and the mobile phone market is expected to decrease 7.1%. So obviously less PC, less tablets, less mobile phones means less semiconductor chips for these companies and OEMs to purchase. They do mention that this is pretty much a perfect storm of geopolitical upheaval, high inflation, currency fluctuation, and supply disruptions, plus the kind of decrease in consumer spending that is kind of making this decline happen this year. The consumer PC demand is on pace to decline 13% in 2022 and will plummet much faster than the business PC demand, which is expected to decline 7.2%. And we can see why this is bad for a lot of the companies in the semiconductor market. AMD, NVDA, and Intel all produce products for the consumer PC market, and that revenue is usually still a good portion of total revenue. Again, this isn't something new that we've discussed in this channel. We've talked about a lot of the short-term pain that we're seeing, and here we're continuing to see that short-term pain again in the consumer market be such a heavy hurdle for these companies. The report also talks about how the 5G market in the mobile devices is expected to slow down a lot faster in China than in other countries. The total global mobile phone shipments are expected to decline 7.1% in 2022, but in Greater China that would actually be a decline of 18.3%. They do mention that the 5G phone shipments will be about 710 million units, and this is up 29% from 2021, but is down from previous expectations. So many believe the adoption of 5G phones was going to happen a lot faster, but with everything happening, even though it's still growing, it's going to be growing at a slower pace. All right, so now let's take a closer look at AMD and Intel. AMD is down about 4.4% as I am recording. It's close to its 52-week low. Intel right now is sitting at $35.99, down 3.8%, and it's also sitting very close to its 52-week low. So obviously we saw the consumer spending decreasing, and one of the main reasons affecting the stocks, but we're also seeing pressure and competition amongst both of them. AMD has also seen some negative press in the past few days. For example, this right here, AMD Ryzen's PC revenue to decline by 26% in 2022 due to the success of Intel's 12th gen CPU. This was reported by a Morgan Stanley analyst, and I do want to say the overall competition of Intel has definitely increased. And Intel, for example, we also see rumors that Intel is expected to cut its CPU prices as they want to kind of get rid of inventory. And if we take a closer look at Newegg, the best-selling CPUs are the top two are actually AMD, but we can also see some Intel in the mix. So in the top 8, 4 of them are actually Intel and 4 of them are also AMD. I do believe, like I mentioned, AMD does have the number 1 and number 2 spot, but we are seeing a huge kind of increased competition in this space. Obviously, AMD's revenue is not only decreasing because of the competition of Intel, we also saw that decrease in consumer market spending and the decline in kind of PC shipments, which is obviously going to decrease the overall revenue for AMD. Unfortunately, I do believe, since Intel does hold the majority of shares in the consumer market right now, that Intel's revenue is also going to take a big hit due to this consumer prices. So even though maybe this analyst might be favoring Intel or might be kind of a little bit more bearish on AMD, I think both will be equally as bad in the short term of things. So again, none of this should be new. We've talked about the consumer consumer market decreasing a lot during this kind of channel. And some bullish news, I would say, maybe bullish and bearish, is both AMD and Intel are expected to release new processors pretty soon, which might help at least boost revenue a bit. Again, with the overall consumer market spending decreasing, might not be as big of a boost as many people expect, but at the moment AMD has not gone back on their guidance. Obviously that can change anytime soon, but at the moment no shift in guidance, which again could be seen as bullish sentiment for that stock. At the end of the day, for a company like AMD, I am bullish in the long term of things. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.